Hi students, in this video I am going to talk about the objectives of management, uh, functions of management, the roles of a manager and managerial skills. Now to begin with the objectives of management. One important objective of management is to maximize results with minimum effort. Uh, Through management, an organization must uh, try to maximize the output with minimum resources. If management does not lead to optimal utilization of the resources, then it doesn't become an effective management. Another objective of management is to increase the efficiency of factor of production, for example labor and capital. So through proper management, efficiency can be increased, and that will help in reducing spoilage, wastage and breakage, saving time, effort and money, which are essential for the growth and prosperity of organizations. Another important objective of management is to maximize prosperity for employees and employers. So through proper management, uh, uh, it can ensure proper and smooth functioning of the organization. This will in turn help in providing maximum benefits to the employees in terms of good working conditions, suitable compensation on one hand, and higher profit and returns to the employers on the other hand. So this way management can actually maximize prosperity for employers and employees. Another important objective of organization is to uh, improve human life and provide social justice. Through proper management, uh, it can lead to upliftment as well as betterment of society. So if the management is effective and efficient, then it will provide better standards of living for the society through increased productivity of goods and services to the society through increased quality of products and services to the society, which will help in improving the standard of living and also providing through increased employment of people in uh, various enterprises. It also provides social justice through its uniform policies, principles, and practices. Now, moving on to the functions of management. Uh, Different management experts have different list of functions of management, but here we will focus on only four of them. Uh, that is planning, organizing, leading, and controlling. Now, to begin with the planning function, planning is nothing but the process of determining organizational objectives and formulating strategies, policies, and programs for achieving them. In other words, planning is nothing but choosing a goal and developing a method or strategy to achieve that goal or or goals for that matter. Planning is thus concerned with charting out the desired future direction of organization and then developing uh, effective strategies to um, achieve the desired future state of an organization. Because uh, the function of an organization is affected by many numerous uh, environmental factors. Managers cannot leave organizations to chances. Managers must prepare effective plan so that organizations are led in the direction in which it is planned to move or towards which an organization is planned to move. Another function of management is organizing. Organizing is uh, nothing but deciding where decisions will be made, who will do what jobs and tasks, and who will work for whom in the organization. It involves determining how activities and resources are to be grouped or allocated. Organizing is also deciding how best to group organizational elements from a variety of structural possibilities to configure an organization structure in order to best achieve the organization's vision or long term goals. Third function of management is leading. Leading involves establishing direction, aligning people, and motivating and inspiring people. So, establishing direction means developing a vision of the future and strategies for producing the changes needed to achieve that vision. So, as a leader, one must try to establish direction and then align the people under him or her in that established direction. So, aligning people means communicating the direction which is done in this uh, while establishing direction by words and deeds to everyone whose cooperation may be needed to influence the creation of teams and coalitions for the achievement of the vision of the organization. Now, it is not only enough to develop a right vision and align people, but also it's very important for the leaders to motivate and inspire people. So, this is what is required in a leading function. If a manager is to lead, then he or she must be able to energize people to produce change by not limiting only to consistently only to achieving consistently the major results expected by various stakeholders. So, leading involves establishing direction for the organization, then aligning people towards that direction and motivating, motivating and inspiring people to work towards that vision. Now, the fourth function of management is controlling, and controlling is uh, monitoring progress towards goal achievement and taking corrective action when progress is not being made. And the basic control processes involve setting standards to achieve goals, setting standards for performance of units, departments, uh, individuals, or other managers. After doing that, then while implementing the plan, then compare the actual performance to those standards that were prepared, against which to measure the performance, and then making changes to return the performance to those standards. If the units or departments or individuals are underperforming or they are going in the wrong direction, then then make changes to return their performance to the standards being set and agreed. Now, moving on to the roles of managers, it was Henry Mintzberg who actually proposed this uh, concept. So, broadly, there are three uh, managerial roles or roles of a manager, that is interpersonal, informational, and decisional. So, interpersonal roles deal with human interaction. Informational role involves sharing and analyzing of information. Decisional role involves making decisions. So if we go into the details of each of them, under informational role, there are three more, uh, all of which involves human interaction. One is monitor role, disseminator role, and a spokesperson role under informational role. So a manager through monitor role will try to seek and receive information, scan periodicals and reports, maintain personal contacts with stakeholders. So fulfilling all these activities is a part of monitor role, like seeking and receiving. If a manager is uh, trying to find out and receive information, then he or she is fulfilling monitor role. If a manager is trying to maintain personal contact with stakeholders, then a manager is playing the role of monitor. As a disseminator, managers will forward information to organization members through memos, reports, phone calls, etc. Now, as a spokesperson or a manager playing the role of a spokesperson, he or she will transmit information to outsiders through reports, memos, speeches, and so on. Now, regarding the interpersonal role, there are three types again: figurehead role, leader role, and liaison role. Uh, as a uh, manager will have to fulfill figurehead role, leader role, and liaison role, and the activities, the example of activities uh, which fall under figurehead role are performing ceremonial and symbolic duties like greeting visitors, signing legal documents, or maybe attending wedding ceremony of the employees, or maybe attending a birthday a party of an employee, and so on. So attending to such ceremonial and symbolic duties actually fulfill the figurehead role. Now, managers play a leader's role by directing and motivating subordinates, counseling and communicating with subordinates, and so on. And managers fulfill liaison role by maintaining information links both inside and outside organization through mail, phone calls, meetings, etc. So these are the three interpersonal roles. Under the decisional role, there are four types. One is entrepreneurial role, disturbance handler role, resource allocator role, and negotiator role. Uh, as a manager, uh, as a manager, uh, he or she fulfills the entrepreneur role when the manager initiates improvement projects or identify new ideas and delegate idea responsibility to others. So a manager plays a disturbance handler role when he or she needs to take corrective action during disputes or crises, resolve conflicts among subordinates, and when he or she uh, tries to adapt to environments of his or her unit or the organization. So a manager plays a resource allocator role when he or she decides who gets what resources, or when he or she prepares budget, set schedules, and determine priorities. Or in other words, in the resource allocator role, a manager will have to decide who gets what resources, or prepare budgets, set schedules, and determine priorities. This is what it means. Okay. So when a manager is playing a negotiator role, he or she represents the department or unit during negotiations with union contracts or with sales person, or uh, in the purchases, or in the negotiation for budget with the higher authority, or uh, with the organization that is dealing with budget. Okay, so these are the roles of manager. Now moving on to the management skills or managerial skills. Managers need various skills in order to perform their works successfully. So skills are nothing but abilities to translate knowledge into action that results in desired performance, and the skills are required to help other employees become more productive. So there are three skills: technical skills, human skills, and conceptual skills. Now, first, the technical skills. This skill requires the ability to use a special proficiency or expertise to perform particular tasks. Or technical skill is nothing but the skills necessary to understand and perform specific kind of works. And technical skills are especially important for first line managers or lower level managers because they supervise the workers who produce products or serve customers. This is because they must know how to perform the tasks assigned to those they supervise if they are to be effective managers, especially the first line managers. In the examples of technical skills are those skills possessed by accountants, engineers, market researchers, etc. Now, human skill is the skill. Human skill is this ability to work well in cooperation with others, or it also means the ability to communicate, understand, and motivate both individuals and groups. So this is what human skill refers to. Human skill the refers to the ability to work well in cooperation with others, or the ability to communicate with, understand, and motivate both individuals and groups. Human skills emerge in the workplace as a spirit of trust, enthusiasm, genuine involvement in interpersonal relationships. So, a manager with good human skills has a high degree of self-awareness and a capacity to understand or empathize with the feelings of others. And one important thing with this human skill is that this skill is required at all levels of management. So basically there are three levels of management: top level, middle level, and lower level of management. And in all the three levels of management, human skills are equally important. Now, the third managerial skill is the conceptual skill. This skill refers to the ability to think analytically or think in abstract. So, the analytical skills actually enable managers to break down problems into smaller parts, to see the relations amongst those parts, and to recognize the implication of any one problem for the other. So, conceptual skill is uh, more important at higher level of management. Higher the level of management, greater the requirement of conceptual skill. If a manager has good or better conceptual skill, then he or she will be able to understand the situations much better, and then they can see things which others cannot see. So that is why it says here that managers will have the ability to break down the bigger problems into smaller parts and see the relationship among those parts and understand the implications of one problem for the others, or see the connections amongst them and see what will happen if he or she do something with something somewhere in the smaller parts. So as managers assume higher responsibilities in organizations, they must they will have to deal with more and more ambiguous problems that have long-term or far-reaching consequences. So therefore, this conceptual skill is very, very important. So, um, in addition, uh, managers with good conceptual skills can actually or will have the mental capacity to understand the overall working of the organization and its environment, and will be able to grasp or see how all the parts of the organization and the environment fit together, and also will be able to view the organization in a holistic manner. If a manager has good conceptual skill, he or she will be able to recognize how organization fits into the environment or is affected by elements of external or internal environment, such as the local community, social and economic factors, customers, employees, etc. Okay, so we'll stop here. Thank you.